Welcome everybody to the Wild Wild West. The untouchable like Elliot Ness. And welcome this week's episode of the Misfit Toy Fantasy Football League recap show. It's me, the commish. And right behind me here, I got my man Matthew Stafford. I am the president of the Matthew Stafford fan club. Reason is, of all the impossible to win matchups that I've had in fantasy football, I've had two that I've come back and won somehow, or hung on and won somehow, if you want to look at it that way. Both of them were thanks to Mr. Stafford. One was a while back. I was losing going into a game, and my opponent had Stafford. I had kicker Justin Tucker. I mean, a quarterback versus a kicker, you know the quarterback's going to win, and I was down. But Justin Tucker went 6 for 6 on field goals. He kicked like 260-yarders. And this guy threw a bunch of interceptions, didn't get very many yards, and I came back and won somehow. This week, Matt needed 13 points from Stafford, and he got about 12.1. I don't know exactly what he got. I don't have it right in front of me, but he didn't get quite what he needed, and I hung on for a 0.09 point victory. I know I was on here about 4 weeks ago, I guess, complaining that I lost to Brad by 0.2. So Matt has a bigger beef than I had with that one. This is the closest matchup I've seen now, 0.09 points. So sorry, Matt. I have nothing to complain about now. I guess I lost by a squeaker and now won by a squeaker. So I guess it all evens out in the end. But thank you, Matthew Stafford. Number one. I'm the president of the fan club. So we finished 4 weeks now. We are about a third of the way through the season. I guess fantasy football season is a little bit shorter, right? So we're about a third, maybe a quarter way through the season. And we will take a look at our scoreboard. Like I said, I took down Matt 141.61 to 141.52. Tom Brady, really rough home life going right now, but fantasy life was a little bit better this week. So thank you for that, Tom. Becky Hazy with a big victory this week. She took down Leanne 168 to 135. That San Francisco 49ers defense that caused fits for old Stafford led Becky in that matchup. Brad, he put a hurting on Michael this week, 154 to 94. Debo Samuel in that same game went off. And Clear Creek Gold Digger, since he's changed his name, Brad's in the mix here, people. Amy KP Kirkpatrick. She and Nick went into this matchup at 0-3, and Nick came out as 0-4. Amy won 145 to 111. And I guess ironically, after Amy had called out all the other winless teams in an email saying she would be the Ruby Ducey this year, and then she picks up a victory. So one win will not win you the Ruby Ducey, but it might lose you the Ruby Ducey. You never know. So, Amy, you want to be last. 145 points isn't the way to do it, but congrats on the first win, Nick. 0-4. We had this matchup between Angela and Kevin going into Monday night. It was projected as a tie, and I don't even know what the tie break is. I'd have to look at the settings. We haven't had a tie, I don't think, and we've been close, like 0.09 with me and Matt. But it ended up that Angela came out with a 130.26 to 127.19 when former Hawkeye TJ Hawkinson, Angela has her team loaded with Hawkeyes and Cyclones, and TJ Hawkinson, career day, 45 points for him. Nathan Neward moved to 2-2 with a win, 146 to 124 over Jeanette. Fail Mary squeaked by Ryan 150 to 147. Ryan remains winless at 0-4. Now, we got a name change. I didn't even know who this was until I clicked, but Chris Stotts has changed his name to Dora Coming In Hot. No idea what that means. Maybe he can explain that to us. But Dora Coming In Hot pulled off a victory over Team Titletown 120 to 117. So Dora, she did come in hot right there with the victory. And then in a very low scoring matchup, you had Tyler moving to 3-1 with a 97-71 win over Ankeny Natron. Ankeny Natron is our third 0-4 team after 4 weeks. So Tyler squeaked out a win there with a low scoring victory. In the game of the week, you had the battle of the unbeatens, the battle of the Jacobs, and the Sheehan took down Teely 132 to 114. Despite the loss, Triple T, the Teely time, or Team Teely time, I guess it is. I thought it was the Teely time, but I think it had been that in the past. But Triple T is still favored to win the league. So he is our, according to the computer, the favorite, even though he lost by 18 to Team Sheehan this week. So let's take a look at the standings. We haven't looked at the standings here yet because, well, we've only been a few weeks in. With four games in, you can kind of see some patterns moving on here. In the Southview division, we have a 5-way tie for first place. Becky, Kevin, Brad, me, and Angela are all 3-1 for a tie for first place in the Southview League. Then you have Leanne at 2-2, Matt, Michael, and KP at 1-3, and Nick is 0-4 at the bottom of the Southview League. In the Hawk League, Jacob Sheehan is 4-0. He's in first place all by himself. Then you have the Teely time, Dora coming in hot, and T. McDonald all 3-1. Team Titletown with Justin Jefferson back this week. He had taken a hit for me last 2 weeks to give Angie a couple losses, but he was back this week with a nice game. Angie, Nathan Neward, and Fail Mary all 2-2. Jeanette is 1-3, and then you got Ryan and Nathan Combs down there at 0-4 in the Hawk division. So looking forward to next week now. Next week's matchups, week 5. Again, Thursday night game. Get your lineup set there. I think it's Broncos and Colts. So should be some guys in your lineup in that one. But I take on my arch nemesis, arch rival, Der Blitz, Adrian and Leanne. Right now I'm favored 139 to 131 in a matchup of 3-1 versus 2-2. Becky Hazy at 3-1 takes on Brad at 3-1. And right now Brad's favored 146 to 136. Nick trying to get off that schneid at 0-4. He takes on Michael at 1-3. And right now Michael's favored 133 to 119. You have Kevin favored over Matt, 137 to 129. Matt trying to regroup from that loss. He came in here and wanted me to go back and recount it manually. I don't know if as a math teacher, I really don't think I could do that, but I'm really glad we have computers to do all that now. Angie at 3-1 takes on Amy KP at 1-3. And like I said, Amy laid stake to the Ruby Ducey. And right now she's favored 120 to 76 over Angie. Angie have a lot of holes in that lineup this week. But if you want that Ruby Ducey there, Amy, you better lay a little bit lower than a 50-point favorite there, 44-point favorite. Nathan Neward and Fail Mary, a battle of 2-2 teams. Right now, Lisa's favored 139 to 134. The Teely time, coming off his first loss, is favored over Jeanette, 141 to 114. Ryan at 0-4, he is favored this week over Angie Krug, 132 to 126. So maybe Ryan can pick up that first win of the season. And our only undefeated team, Jacob Sheehan, goes against 3-1 Tyler McDonald. Right now, Tyler is the slim favorite at 141 to 137, as that's probably our game of the week this week. And then we have Dora coming in hot versus Ankeny Natron at 0-4. Nathan's also favored 141 to 128. So Nathan and Ryan and Nick trying to get that first win. Ryan and Nathan are both favored, so maybe they'll get it done. But once again, thank you, Matthew Stafford, for all you've done for me in fantasy football. All in losses for you, I guess, and wins for me. So I guess however it works. But thank you again, Matthew Stafford. Thank you, Tom Brady, for coming around and scoring 40 points. 4 weeks in, it's still anybody's ball game, obviously, and keep getting those lineups set. Hope you're enjoying the videos, and we will talk to you next week. Until then, we continue with Go Brady Gaga, and we're going to continue with some
like a best for your Jimmy in the city of sex. We in that
California
sunshine
love.
state where the bomb ass him be. The state where you never find a dance floor empty and pimp speed. On a mission for them greens. Lean, mean, money making machines, serving fiends. I've been in the game for 10 years making rap tunes. Ever since Honeys was wearing Sassoon, now it's 95 and they clock me and watch me diamond shining, looking like I'm Rob Liberace. It's all good.